Good evening. It is Thursday, April 3rd. Right? This is episode 20 of the Chris Gabo Show. You're going to be getting this on Monday. We have Annalisa Velez here. Hello. It's episode 2 of your co-host with no money and no limited edition. Yeah, you might be leaving us after 2 more episodes, right? We got my man Angelo Youssef on the guitar. We got Corn, the last skeptic with a K. Don't say C, he'll get mad. We got Corice as a musical guest. We got James Adolphus as a fucking actual guest that I'm going to interview about real shit. We got some rappers. We got Dave Harris here. We got Sean Watson here. We got a lot of things going on, right? But first, I'm going to show y'all a little joint that I wrote yesterday. We wrote this to, new shit, exclusive. DJ Clue, drop a bomb on it.
The content of the song was cut because Chris was offbeat and forgot the lyrics. It is quite brave of this young man to have attempted a song that he wrote only the day before. But he likes the song very much, and it won't serve him to have it at this caliber. We will try it again forthright within the fortnight. Enjoy the show.
All right. We'll figure out what happens next after that. We got James Adolphus coming up next. You know what? We can stay on the couch. We're going to do a little transition. Josh, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. And, let's get into the A block. Yo, what's going on? Yeah. We are back. This is Chris Gabo, the aforementioned, Annalisa Velez, the aforementioned, James Adolphus, the aforementioned. Ooh. My man, you know, it's interesting, like, sometimes when you interview friends that are like we became friends before I knew you were fancy. I want you to know that. I didn't know you had Emmys, okay?
I didn't know you were fancy.
I don't consider myself fancy. Okay, wait, real quick, before we even introduce James, I want the audience to come in how I was introduced to James, which is that I was high out of my mind in my room. I didn't know that my wife was hosting people, and I came out, and there was a handsome man and his, handsome partner. That made it sound... no, but not like, I don't mean in the homophobic way. I actually mean in the positive way. I feel like we're fucking God. I feel like whenever people use the word partner and it's a woman, you're like, bro, what the fuck? I thought this was Equinox. I thought we were cool. And actually, it's appropriation. So anyway, I came outside and James and Elle were there and there was a cheese board and I was like, oh shit. I don't want to have an interaction.
We were talking about some heavy shit.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to blow up your spot.
We were talking about heavy shit.
What was the conversation?
This is why. It was dark, heavy stuff. And I told my wife, I was like, I did not hashtag consent to being in this party, but I'm really hungry and I live here. I live in this apartment and I want to eat. So I creeped out and made eye contact. I was like, what beautiful tea-colored eyes this curly-haired man has. I was like, but I'm going to make a little plate. And I didn't say anything else. I made a plate and retreated back.
He said, what's up? And then bounced.
He was a writer. He was like a serious writer.
No, listen, like, my girlfriend and I came here. She's like, yo, you're going to meet, my girlfriend's husband. They were hoping to hook us up as friends. And I arrived, and this motherfucker came out the room, heard what we were talking about. I was like, nope. Grabbed some fucking cheese and then bounced. And then I was like,
I want to bounce too.
You can do that? You can just, like, if you don't want to be involved in, like, your wife's shit, you can just be like...
Be out.
Even if there's a man in the room. Yes, you don't have to be my friend. And
exactly. I don't have to be anyone's friend. Jay, do me a favor, hold that a little closer to your mouth because you're killing it and I want to hear all of it. Bro, it was, it really, like, legit, they looked so beautiful sitting there. And also the food looked so beautiful, and I was so beautiful being alone.
Right.
And I literally...
Were we even living here yet?
Yeah. No. That's what made it special, because Elle was like, oh, I'm in town for, again, we're not going to get there, but for a reason. I'm trying to be polite, bro.
We're laughing, and it's like something dark that she
Oh, yeah, please. Anyway. But, okay. And then there was a second dinner party where we got invited to your spot, and... I was like, yo, this is my wife's friend's man. I have to make up for my past sins. So I left my phone at the crib. I was like, I'm going to be, what's it called? Like, present,
Human.
No, but legit. I was like, I'm not going to be an asshole. So I showed up, I was like, hey, but I showed up with the intention of being fake. I showed up to the intention of being like, what's up, guy that I'm supposed to be friends with? And then I fell in love. And then the girls were like, it's time for us to go. And I was like, no, me and James have a thing, and now we go to the gun range together.
The fire.
No, literally, and like, and then I saw the Emmys. So you can't say that I was like, trying to ride your coattails.
But you got to introduce him.
I know, but
you got to be nice with it.
Listen to me. I'm trying to.
We got this Emmy Award winner right next to us. Like, let's get.
We have an Emmy Award winning director.
And he's Puerto Rican.
It is the Boricua Roundtable. I only play Boricua on TV. I'm Colombian. But if we have any Puerto Rican companies that want to sponsor us, we could also do that. But then, Annalisa, your contract gets extended.
Yes.
Make no mistake, baby, you fucking with the best of them. My elevator cup will knock the snot about the rest of them. So if you doubt the kid got hard up in his chest pops, you got me fucked up like ex-cops and gem pop.
Don't touch that dial, cause there's nothing else on. You might just as well listen to
the next episode of the Gabo Show.
And here's the thing. I want to be honest with you. I don't Google people. I don't Google anybody. I Googled you today because I asked you to be the A Block guest after you were going to be studio audience. And then I was like, I should Google my man. But how I found out that you had Emmys was because I tripped over them high on my way to your bathroom.
No.
And I was like, what is that? And someone was like, those are his Emmys. And I was like, my man. See? So you can accuse me of being many things, but not fake, because I didn't know. And look, it's interesting. This town is not a place that I necessarily thought I was going to make friends. You know what I'm saying? And especially with industry shit, it's like, I guess the reason why I'm doing this long ass intro, besides the fact that I think it's funny, is that it made the relationship honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we fuck with each other as people, and then I was like, oh, this guy like really makes stuff. Because when he was making small talk, I was like, oh, why do you know Swiss Beats? I was like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh yeah, we're just doing this stuff, and I was like, oh, this man doesn't just have a gravelly voice and iconic curly hair and, perfectly...
For no reason, right.
No, really, curl icon.
Just because he's Puerto Rican.
We should get a Garnier Fructose fucking sponsorship.
Wow.
Isn't that? BioSoap?
Fructis.
Bro, I don't speak French. That's not... Listen.
Girl, I don't speak French either.
And you also have, if I believe, and again, you corrected me earlier, but I just looked at the Wikipedia. Hold on. I'm going to say what you think.
I'm sorry, bro.
3-time Peabody Award winning cinematographer.
Correct.
Okay, see, I didn't fuck it up, right? And I would love to talk about that transition a little bit, because like often, DPs go, do become directors, right? But I feel like, not, I don't know. I don't personally know anyone who's like award winning 3 times in that field who then, let me tell you something. If I won an award in anything, I would stay. You know what I'm saying? If I won an award at like, cooking chicken Alfredo, I would become that. So talk to me.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, real talk. There is often buyer's remorse in my transition from being a DP to a director. I love being a director. I never wanted to be one though. I was at police school. Did you know that?
Police school?
I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice
Oh,
okay.
my God.
for like 2 years, and then took a film elective. And in the middle of the semester, they screened a
James,
documentary.
have we never done biographical small talk, you
This
and I?
is amazing.
I don't think so.
Jesus Christ.
We've talked about our romance issues, but
I don't have romance issues. We talked about your romance issues. What the fuck? Yo, Jesus Christ. No.
The tea, honey,
oh my
the
God.
we
Okay.
are grown men who are in committed
Let's
relationships.
go right to the musical guest. How are you guys feeling?
No, I never wanted to be a director. There was no desire. I fell in love with cinematography after watching a documentary about cinematographers. And literally the morning after that class, I went into Manhattan, got an application at the School of Visual Arts, applied to art school, got in, and never looked back. And then you fast forward probably 20 years, and I started getting hurt in the field. And I make documentaries.
Right.
So there's no like real union. Local 600 doesn't really support documentary filmmakers. So there's no retirement plan for doc filmmakers. And often when you do something awesome, you get like a big trophy, and then they send you back into the field to do something awesome, but also terrible.
Wow.
Because often the work I do is like emotionally challenging, even though it's, being a part of history and documenting and witnessing is it's my love. But when you get hurt in the field, no one's going to take care of you when you get home. And so at some point, I got hurt in Colombia, actually.
I'm so sorry that happened.
I was doing this thing for Spotify with Carol G, and I got hurt on.
I'm sorry, Gabo G?
Yeah.
Word. It's amazing. Sorry. Like,
This is how our friendship
icon.
happened. Yeah, okay. So
But
Carol
was it?
G, Carol G bit you personally, or
No,
like?
no, Carol G rides like dirt bikes, like motor dirt bikes, and we went to this
Badass.
like
That's dope.
this track, and I was in the back of a pickup truck, and I was harnessed in, and one of the driver took one of the moguls too fast, and my ass lifted off the apple box and came down hard. But I had like
Oh my god.
I had an Alexa in this fucking Steadicam rig, and my spine collapsed.
Bro, what the
What?
fuck?
I was, to survive the next 2 days of photography, like no one knew. I was like fisting 8,
What?
12 ibuprofens at a time just to get through that shoot. What? When I got home, the writing was on the wall. What are you going to do? If I get hurt as a DP in docs, like my son doesn't eat, the rent doesn't get paid, there's no insurance policy. But as soon as I put that energy out into the world,
Wow.
by chance, I met Lena Waithe.
Oh,
Casual, casual.
okay. See, I didn't understand that the transition was like for like a, yeah. You know, this is good content, okay? Because I've never heard this fucking story, and it's
good
interesting.
story.
You know, Colombia is a dangerous place, just in general. I mean, at least it was in my childhood, and I don't mean like in like a Narcos way. I mean like just shit was always. Like when you said dirt bike, I immediately understood what you were talking about because I went on one of those tracks with a BMX bike, and they were like, I asked for a helmet, and they gave me this. I mean, it was like the Costco thing, but like they didn't have any padding; it was just the plastic, and they were like, "We have a bandana." You know what I'm saying? They put me in the bandana, just threw me down the hill, and I flew into the air. And we went like 20 feet in the air, and the bike there's no more bike. You know what I mean? And so I see what you're talking about.
My being a doc DP, I got really lucky. I went off to the West Bank when I was really young, and I came home and fell in bed with some prominent doc filmmakers, and my mentor has a reputation for being an asshole, and because he has a reputation of being a genius but an asshole, I got work when people found out I was his assistant. They were like,
interesting.
"Oh, you're surviving this guy? You're hired."
Wow.
And then that allowed me to just travel the world. But I've been in so many dangerous situations from we love it. We celebrate it. We hang out the side of helicopters. But I've been involved in helicopter accidents. And
Wow.
I have a no helicopter rule. No helicopter and private jets. No matter what happens in my life, I'm like, that's how everybody dies, bro.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, yeah.
I have a private jet rule, but it's ego related.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Real talk. I don't go in private jets. I'll do helicopters, but I won't do a helicopter with a famous person. And the reason is,
They always die.
and it's not just that. It's my ego. If a famous person dies and I'm in the helicopter, okay, I am like right now on this show.
conversation's
I'm like
not about you.
3-time Peabody Award winner. But if I die in a helicopter with let's say a basketball legend, it's basketball legend dies with 8 other people, and I'm part of the
true.
nameless crowd, and
That's
I can't personally live with that. And that's fucked up. But
That's real.
But I
That's
think
the
about
truth.
that. I'm not getting in a private anything
Bro,
with someone famous.
Yo,
That's the
that's the
truth.
greatest rule. And I also, you notice
kind
that
of a rapper,
You notice that he just
low-key.
said, "Yo, if I die on your podcast, it's not about you today. Actually, it'll
No,
be." He was like,
truly.
they won't even know what apartment.
This guy.
There will be like famous director dies in Hollywood fire. You know what I'm saying? So inshallah, nothing bad happens to any of us
Ridiculous.
today. But that is what he said. That was the subtext.
So ridiculous.
Do you want to tell that Congo story? That's a doc. That's actually how I can give the context for how I heard this story. With the hand.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, just because this was when I looked into your tea-colored eyes and fell in love when I was sitting there
Colored
at dinner. This guy had not spoken. You don't understand.
You do have dreamy eyes, and you have a beautiful face. Like, this is just a fact.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
Let's sit in that moment for a second. How does everyone feel in their bodies right now? Okay, so no, we were literally. James had not talked.
Okay.
James is great. Hearing him gregarious is really. I mean, obviously we have
Such
a
a
personal
big word.
relationship,
Love
but
that.
it's funny because I'm like, my man has he doesn't mind not talking. Doesn't mind it at all. You know what I'm saying? And he was just sitting there, just being handsome, and we were just at dinner. And by the way,
Dude, same with me when I first met you.
No,
I got you. Yeah.
and
Funny
then,
story.
And then suddenly someone said something. You know what it is? Who was it? I believe it was Apollo Creed who said, only speak to improve the silence, or I don't know who said it, but it wasn't. But But he really only does. How often do you mean a man? I only speak to make this.
He only speaks when he's spoken to. Like,
I speak to like make things worse, you know?
Yeah. James
James was like waiting for a moment, and then someone said something, and he was like, literally, like, I saw the war flash across his eyes, and he was like, it reminds me about being in the Congo. And then he told this story, and I'm going to cue you up for the story, because I was like, babe, where did you take me? Tell the story. And then I got a button for you that I've been working on.
Oh, God.
I don't know how to do chit chat. All right, it's like
That is fucking absolutely clear. That's absolutely
Chit
clear.
chat. All right. So what happened?
No, James, we just noticed that we have never had a biographical small talk conversation, so you don't know how to do chit chat.
Never heard anybody name a conversation like that.
I don't know how to
Smart
do
people shit.
small talk. It's not
Dale, pues.
my
Give
eyes
us the
glaze
good
over.
shit.
You know, when people are like
I
talking
fuck
and
with
introducing
that.
themselves, my eyes glaze over, and I just.
So just so you know, when he introduced you to when I introduced him to everyone here, his eyes
just
glazed
like-
over. Just so you know.
No. It's
You
when
wanna-
everyone is doing the
Doesn't know my
thing. You
name.
know, you guys all saw me sitting in the corner, not saying shit.
Yeah.
I'm also you know, I'm on the spectrum. I'm like mad awkward.
We're all on the spectrum,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Anyway. We were doing this piece on the extinction of the African elephant for Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. We were in Garamba National Park in the middle of Congo. It was a pain in the ass to get there because you just don't fly to Congo. You ultimately have to fly to Uganda. And that day was like, we had this one producer. He's lovely, but he's a nervous Nelly. And when we got to Uganda to go into Congo, we arrived at the landing strip, and we didn't know we were going from a big plane to two small Cessnas. And when you get with pilots in country, they're really like salty people, and they're great people to like, you know, characters to photograph or just to talk to. And these pilots are like, you motherfuckers like came with too much shit. And they're like, you can't go with all this. So we had to, on the landing strip all of our gear for weight. And one of the things I forgot was my flak jacket in my North Face, because my flak jacket was black and it was at the very bottom of the bag, and I ripped through all my shit really quickly and then got on these Cessnas without my flak jacket. So fast forward a few days, and we are going into the field with these, it's like 12 poorly trained but huge heart Congolese rangers who are there, who work for the national park, and they're there to protect the African elephant from poachers who come from all the neighboring countries, who have all like survived multiple civil wars. And these poachers are very, very efficient killers because they survived the civil wars by fighting in them. And so we go out into the field one day, and the exercise is photograph these men on patrol. And it's real sports, so you don't need many hours of it. You just need to go into the country and shoot for an hour or two. You get the footage and you come home and you make it look like you were there for a long time. This park, it has one helicopter, and only it's like pilot plus 4. So 5 people get ferried out, 4 people get ferried out at a time. So it takes 3 trips to ferry out the team, the Rangers, and the HBO Real Sports crew. And there's only 3 of us going into the field. It's, you know, David Scott, our correspondent, and then Fernando, the B camera operator, and myself. We were going to bring our producer, who was a nervous Nelly, but we didn't have a flak jacket for me, so I had to take his that day, and he had to stay behind, which is a really good thing. Because when we landed, you ferry out the first team of Rangers, dope, and then they ferry out the second team, which included one of the camera operators, Fernando. And then on the last ferry, it's me, 2 Rangers, and the correspondent. And we drop in. You're landing in just after the rainy season, and so elephant grass is 8 to 10 feet tall. So have you ever seen it? Like the elephants can hide and wade through it.
Yo, if an elephant can hide in
Some
it, that's
tall ass
But you know, when you
grass,
photograph
like-
it, sometimes if you don't have an animal in the context and you're watching some Nat Geo shit, you can't tell that it's 8 or 10 feet tall, but it is. It's massive grass. And we flew in and ferried in onto this like rock cropping that was just above the grass so the helicopter could land on it. But after dropping in, the helicopter immediately takes off because we ferried in 3 trips and we're in hostile territory. We made more noise than usual, and typically they drop in the first 5 soldiers, Those soldiers hike 20 miles, 20 clicks, because by the time the helicopter goes back and picks up the next round of men, they shouldn't be in the same spot because the helicopter makes a lot of noise and they get into regular gunfights with poachers every single week. But because of us, we were stuck. The team had to wait for us to come back. And thankfully, there was no, at the moment when we were landing, any hostile engagement. However, when the last team gets ferried in, the helicopter takes off, and it does this, it flies in the air and does this really big, loop, just looking at the immediate area to make sure there are no bad guys lying in wait. And then the helicopter comes down, and if you've never been in a helicopter, they just don't turn off. They have to, wind down and cool off, and it's a whole fucking process. And I'm standing there with our correspondent, as this helicopter lands and is finally about to turn off, and for some reason, the leader of the this not elite team of men decides to run across our little makeshift landing strip to talk to another soldier. And there are rules when you're around helicopters. So if you guys don't know, if you've never been in a helicopter, the doors of a helicopter, it's cool. You can enter in them from the side. And if you need to go around the helicopter, you only go around the front, never around the back, because you can't see the tail rotor spinning. It spins too fast. It's invisible. And this ranger was walking around the back side of the helicopter, and he had a ghillie hat on. I don't know if you know what that is. There's a baseball cap that soldiers wear, and if you think like Vietnam, it's sort of looks like a fisherman's cap.
Yeah.
Okay. So as he approached, do we need to hold for the?
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, this is.
Sorry, I make movies and there's sound in the background. No. So he's walking. We're watching this, and folks start yelling, but no one can hear you over the rotor that's spinning. And this guy is walking right up to the tail rotor, and the chop. The chop and the turbulence and the wind that's blowing, it starts to blow his hat off. And this is the thing that saved this man's life, because when his hat blew off, he was inches from the tail rotor that he could not see, and he reached up to grab his hat to keep it on. And when he reached up, his hand went into the tail rotor. And every time I say that, I can hear it. I can hear the snap of this man's arm being ripped off in an instant. And, the arm gets ripped off, and, you have your camera, you're there, you weren't expecting, but you go right into work, because you're like, this is, now we're working. It's more than just, and you run into the scene. Like I, said to the correspondent, and you run into the scene, and you drop, drop to the floor for the most dynamic shot, because this is the thing you think about when you're shooting awful things. You're like, how do I best tell the story? And so I drop directly onto the ground so that you can look up and see the other men coming in and sort of trying to comfort him while someone puts a tourniquet on what's left of his arm. I mean, you're watching another guy walk in with an RPG, and then suddenly, you follow him, you carry him into the helicopter, and you come around and you're looking at the pilot, who's like a white, spicy South African who has some really fucked up stories.
That's
how the accent sounds,
be
bro.
described as spicy. That feels so good.
And he has a conversation with the leader of this group, who's also a white South African who manages the park. And I could watch his mouth say, "I'm not sure if I'm coming back." And he kind of shrugged his shoulders, and he's angry, and he gets back into the helicopter, and we all back off, and it takes off. Because the guy would have bled out, and they have to take off. So
they took off with him.
Yes,
but not the arm.
Wait, did y'all find the arm?
We found the hand. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and you gave it back to him.
No. He goes off in the helicopter, and
so you don't know if they're coming back to rescue y'all.
Correct. As soon as it got quiet, we had a conversation, and the conversation was he wasn't supposed to take off. If there's any sort of rotor strike, legally as a pilot, he's supposed to turn off the helicopter and wait for someone to come in to check to see if there's any damage, and if that damage is going to down the helicopter. But if he would have waited, the guy would have bled out and it would have been a mess. So instead they powered up, and he said, I don't know what's going to happen when I power up, but he powered up and they took off. And then it's eerily quiet, and you go, oh, this morning exercise that was supposed to be 90 minutes could be 2 days. Because we have no idea if anyone was coming back for us, and we're in hostile territory. We've made way too much fucking noise with the helicopter just being there for 30 fucking minutes. And then we make the decision. It's like, okay, we're all going to wait. We're all going to be quiet. And so the 8 of us that's left, we spread out. None of us are allowed to sit next to each other. David and I, the correspondent and I, we sit next to each other, but everyone has to be 20 feet away from the other person in the grass. You can't see anyone, and everyone has to shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Because you don't know if people are coming. You don't want anyone stumbling over a group of us, and so you have to spread out and just go into this Zen mode, hoping that the helicopter is going to come back. And in those moments, I go really Zen. It's like, it's very calming, and
that's why your eyes are like that, bro, because you've seen the wars, dog.
Yeah, I mean, but like on some level, the adrenaline junkies like myself and Fernando, we really go into a peaceful place, and then you use that understanding to help manage everyone else on the team who is freaking the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, the entry to that story for me, and like in a way, like the button when I heard it, was you were talking about your producer who was the nervous guy, right? I remember when you said at that, you were like, bro, thank God he wasn't here. I would have had to kill him just to concentrate. And I think about a lot of people in my life that I'm like, it's like, yo, like imagining this is like the most high stress situation I've ever heard a story about that doesn't involve like, Publix, but like literally, I'm like, if in that situation, everyone needs to be as calm as possible.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? So like, I do think that's why I in that moment, this is kind of almost like the first words I heard you speak. I want you to think about this. Never heard this guy talk, and then you hear that shit, and I was like, you want to go smoke? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And like, I was like, I understood all of it.
But it's funny, the producer who was brilliant. If we landed and that happened and the helicopter took off without him, he would have panicked. And his panic and that fear, which is totally justified, would have gotten all of us in a lot of trouble. And so
possibly killed.
Yeah, I knew that if he was there,
like smother him with a pillow, like a.
I love Chapman, but we would have had to have knocked him the fuck out because you literally had to be silent for hours until that helicopter came back.
Bro, thank you for giving that story to our fledgling show, because that story is fucking crazy. And hearing it the second time, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And now you're safe because you're like shooting a narrative documentary. You're over here like doing Wade in the Water in New Orleans and shit. So you're now like you have Wi-Fi. You get to like go to craft services and shit.
Wait, no, it's so boring.
I have a question. Did that scene make that film?
Yeah, and it earned us a Peabody.
Okay.
Well, friends, if you want to have a Peabody, it
all you
costs
gotta
some
do
blood
is
sometimes.
Cut a hand off. Got it,
bro. So right now I'm like, my heart is beating very fast, and I'm trying to,
Ideal.
But no, really, like, I want to talk about Young, Gifted, and Black. That's still happening, right? That's what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah, it's Gifted in Black. So it's not Young, Gifted, in Black, which is the Nina Simone song. So it's inspired, of course, by the title of that song.
Only Google Gifted in Black.
Yeah, it's Gifted in Black.
So of any ages, just gifted. So Dave, you can be on the show, bro. You're young, old. You know what I mean? Anybody could be on the show. Not me. I can't be on the show, but you guys can be on the show. So it's tell us about that project, and then I just because I really like. I know a little bit about the project, but just to hear the transition from like like going in the Congo and seeing a man's arm chopped off to being like, we're gonna do a music doc. I'm like, I would love to hear a little about the career transition, but also to let people know like what you're working on now.
This is pre-pandemic. I put the energy out into the universe, and the universe responded in kind with a Quibi. Do you remember Quibi?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the 10-minute shit.
Yeah, the 10-minute shit.
That shit's still going.
No, it's not.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No. So Quibi. So you have that year where they're dropping like $2 billion into Quibi, and I got one, and it was called You Ain't Got These. And it was about sneaker culture, of which I know
dope.
nothing about.
Yeah.
I'm not a sneakerhead, But Lena Waithe was looking for a director. This is actually funny. Lena Waithe was looking for a black director, and the first crop of directors that the production company sent her were all white people, and she flipped out. And she's like, sneaker culture is black culture. Go find me a black director. And then they found me, and that is when I became black in Hollywood.
Yo, it happens to us all. I mean, it doesn't happen to me personally, but
I was not black. I was ethnically ambiguous. I was whatever white Hollywood wanted me to be until Lena Waithe said I was black, and then Hollywood had to go, I guess that's a nigga.
Latino.
Yo. Listen,
that's what the fuck
I'm not
happened.
in Latino Hollywood. I'm in Muslim Hollywood, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
That is weird.
I don't know any Latinos in Hollywood. I was just the Mo shit, the Rami shit. Then now it's just like I'm in Muslim Hollywood. I get invited to the Hollywood iftars, but the mi gente shit, I don't get invited to that. So that's when you became black in Hollywood. And
yeah,
then,
I mean, I've always identified as black, and black people see me as black, but it's white America that like doesn't want to own that part of me until Lena.
Josh, what do you see when you look into my? No, I'm just kidding.
Until Lena came into my life, and then Quibi was a disaster, and
Except for Annalise, who's still under contract at Quibi. She thinks it's
So
still
whatever, bro. Pura vida.
Lena gave me the Mary Tyler Moore project, and then the pandemic hit, and then that project was put on ice because of the pandemic. And one day Lena called me probably 3 months into the pandemic, and she's like, yo, have you been watching Swizz Beatz and Timbaland's Verses on Instagram? And I said yes, but Lena, I was lying.
Lena, if you're watching this, please like and
Lena's
subscribe.
totally watching.
I had never seen any of the Verses. And but it's Lena. Like, she's, dope. She's the homie. And we were so early into our relationship, and I was like,
You didn't want to disappoint.
I mean, no one saw Quibi. No one watched Quibi. Quibi dropped the same week that the world shut down.
Oh, wow.
It was the same exact week, March 13th. It was that week that Quibi launched. It was the same week that America was like, we're closed. So no one was watching Quibi. It was like $2 billion disaster. But Lena calls and she's like, well, I just got off the phone with Swizz, and Swizz says that we can make a documentary that's inspired by Verses. Do you want to direct it? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to direct it. Like, it's the pandemic has hit. No one is working, and this is a pandemic-inspired project that someone might pay us to do. Fuck yeah. And I get to direct it. Dope. But I was like, let me go into a hole, and I go into a hole for a few weeks, and I go think about the project and go protest and get shot by the LAPD. And then they got really, really angry because they hit me with a rubber bullet in my back, and it left a giant welt. And I got away with like easy, but I got really pissed off at how inexpensive black culture is to white America. And that summer, I wanted to make a statement. I really just wanted to investigate whether or not white America truly understood what the actual cost is to black people in making all this amazing black music. And it's one thing to say that you love black people and you love black culture and you love black music, but it's another thing to truly understand what it costs. And black people are responsible for every fucking genre of music that this country has ever produced. And any genre of music that we don't associate with black people today is probably because it's just a sonic landscape that black people have abandoned. We don't associate black folk with rock and roll, but like Sister Rosetta Tharpe,
you invented
like,
Yeah.
she's the godmother of rock and roll.
Right.
Country music, we invented that shit too. We also abandoned it. That's cool. But what does it cost to make black music? What was the black response to the Middle Passage, enslavement, Jim Crow, war on drugs? And at the end of the day, when you really look at it, it's the creation of all these amazing genres of music. The black response to white trauma is black music, at least within the context of this film. And so I set about designing a film that did two things. It explained the cost of black music by looking at the history of a handful of genres of black music and the context in which that music was born out of. And then we relate that to Swizz Beatz and Timbaland's response to 2020.
Wow.
And specifically both to 2020 that created, for all of us, we're all stuck at home.
Yeah.
We don't know how to commune with each other. And Swizz Beatz and Timbaland are like, we're going to create music church. We're going to create a celebration, and we can all get together and turn up together. And that's what we did. And then they did something even more amazing. Because when the Ahmaud Arbery tape dropped and Black America is traumatized and white America now is stuck at home, so they have to see the same fucking tape too, Swizz and Timbaland respond to that need in the community, all that pain, and they give us Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. And just a few weeks later, when the George Floyd tape dropped, Swizz Beatz and Timbaland would respond to the community with the pain and the anger, the justified anger. And they would offer us a healing, so they'd give us the gospel. It was Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond. And then many months later, when we would find out that no one would be held personally responsible for the murder of Breonna Taylor, they gave us these queens. They gave us Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight to help round out both the mistrust and the anger and the disappointment and the despair that we're feeling, not just in the lack of responsibility for Breonna's murder, but just the generalized feeling of what it means to be black and ignored, even at a moment when white America looks to be having like a morality attack that we would all realize was very short-lived. It would not last, even if, like, for 5 seconds, everyone was like calling you.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry. You know, like, we're your ally.
$15.
We're checking in. How are you? And Gifted in Black aims to tell those stories, and then it aims to tell those stories in the most creative way. You know, I liken this project and our creative approach to creating the documentary version of Lemonade.
Wow.
It's like when you were talking about some of the shots you guys were getting, it was like, it sounded like music video. You know what I mean? It sounded like visual excess, and like,
you're typically in a doc, if you're talking about the history of black pain, you show it. You know, so if we're talking about how, you know, the black response to Jim Crow was the creation of blues music, it was the creation of jazz, you might show images that we associate with Jim Crow. And I am fucking tired of seeing those images associated with black folk. Now, I think it's important for this film to show that type of imagery, or 2020 imagery, in relation to what Swizz and Tim are doing. And so in this film, we're not shying away from the Ahmaud Arbery video, the George Floyd video, the body cam coverage of those cops killing Breonna Taylor. It's very specific, and you know, that honors the brutality of their deaths. And I think in the context of 2020, it's important to show that. But for the rest of the film, we don't want to approach the history of black as pure trauma, at least visually. Right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge all of the trauma in interviews. And we will hear about the trauma. But I am, for as quiet as I am, I'm an asshole and I'm confrontational as fuck. And so in the art, in the images, the idea is to show narratively, we are creating an entire world where we're showing a depiction of a black family in 2020. And this is the most beautiful depiction of 3 generations of black people living under one roof in the year 2020. And so that every time we talk about the past, we're showing the present. And we're showing the present in the most idyllic sense. Because I want the audience to be like, all these fucking awful things happen to black people, but they're looking at the most idyllic family as our way of confronting the audience. Like, yeah, these terrible, awful things happen to people like this. Whatever idea or images you have that, you know, American culture keeps like saturating you with when you think of black people and black culture, you're wrong. Black culture and black people are also this. It's a kaleidoscope of beauty, and I'm going to confront you with all of the beauty of blackness while you have to listen to all of the awful things that have happened to this beauty while you're listening to the output of that beauty, which is, you know, hundreds of years of phenomenal fucking music. The largest cultural export in America is black culture, and it's not loved truly. It's not respected truly because, you know, you need dumbass slogans like Black Lives Matter in order to make your point. And you wouldn't need a slogan like that if folks were loved. And that, in a nutshell, is what we're trying to do with Gifted in Black, my friend.
Yo, bro, it's so funny because I just like, I really appreciate you sharing all that. And I know it's interesting because two of the sort of tones that we end up, the two of the tones that we end up embodying on this show are like, there's obviously a lot of humor, but then like moments like this happen, I'm like, I don't even, there's nothing to say other than thank you. You know what I mean? Like it's like very, and when I started talking about, our friendship and how we, got here, it was important to me for that context because I was like, I got to see, like I've heard you talk, obviously we talk about the show because it's, is it a feature?
Yeah, feature doc.
See, okay, so it's a feature doc. We've talked about the feature, many times because it's the work that you do, right? It's because it's like, how was your day, right? But I've actually never heard you like pitch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm very grateful for the depth and for the, now I understand all the fucking Peabodys, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was just for the curl product shit, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was, a nepotism just from your physical beauty, but now to know that is, no, but really, James, I thank you so much, man. I really do. Do we have a release date for when it comes out?
No, because the making of Gifted in Black is an entirely other conversation. It's an entirely other conversation, and it's been a 5-year, saga. We got to, Amazon is a great partner. Believe it or not, I have the most amazing network exec, and Amazon has been a dream to work with. But life has been, we were making Gifted in Black and the Mary Tyler Moore project at the same time, and I thought Gifted in Black was going to be the easy one. Like, I'm of the culture. We have an incredibly large budget to make a music doc. We can do anything we want.
Wow.
We're going to have the time of our lives. But when we started the Mary Tyler Moore project, I'm a half black, half Puerto Rican guy who had never seen a single episode of anything Mary Tyler Moore had ever done. And we're at the height of Me Too, and I'm like, maybe I'm the wrong choice. But Lena wanted me to do the project. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is going to be the hard one.
Right.
Black music, piece of cake. Mary Tyler Moore was challenging. But when I think about Mary versus this, Mary was like a walk in the park, and it was an amazing process.
Wow.
But I got cancer. We had to put Gifted in Black on ice, and we thought putting it on hiatus would last 3 months, maybe 6, but it was like 2 years before we came out of hiatus. And we came out of hiatus last May. It's been a year since we've been out of hiatus. We are in the edit, and we still have photography left.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Look, James, man, it's funny because I didn't even know how like the can of worms was going to be, in a can of worms in a good way because I like worms.
Sharing.
No, but really,
my pleasure.
No, thank you so much for this.
Really.
I hate to cut you off, but we have to get to our musical guest, which is actually, this is an incredible transition, right?
Actually,
we have Corey's here who's going to play some songs for us, and we're going to do, Annalise is going to lead a musical interview, and I hope you stick around. And if you stick around past that, maybe we'll have you host the rap battle. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen, bro.
Ridiculous.
You really thought,
but I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Dude, thank you so much, bro.
Cool.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yo, and if you ever write a song, if you ever write a poem, you can bring it on the show. You ever like want to show anything, you know what I'm saying? You want to show like your curl routine, we could stop the whole show just to like show people how to get what we need. No, but listen, I'm talking shit because I'm just very...
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Moved,
what the fuck? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And again, I want everyone to know we had a different show yesterday. And I texted James. I was like, "How would you feel about?"
But that's God.
No,
that's
it really
God.
is God, and it is also just. But thank you so much, and I can't wait to see it, honestly. And I really like. We got to have you back on, unless you had such a horrible time and you don't want to come on. But I really like. I'm very, very grateful because, I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, it's obvious. I don't even have to say anything else because it's obvious. But up next, we have Corey's musical guest. And more soon. Thank you, bro.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Damn.
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
Yo.
Damn.
You got a lot to say.
Yo.
I do.
I'm
quiet, but I got a lot to say. I'm mad quiet, but I got real shit.
Bro.
Damn.
Dude, give me a hug, man. Thank you so much. Up next, we have musical guest Corey's. Make some noise!
Wanna be changed. Song's called Homie Lover Friends. Wanna be changed. Wanna be there. Can you tell me what to be there? Gotta beat with a beat it. Beat it. Wanna be there. Can you tell me what to be there? Gotta beat with a beat it. Beat. frankly, my dear, I do not give a damn. But when up just came the fuck down, how about you take a look around now? A homie, love, a friend is what we both needed. I should've heeded, but would it be there? Or were you telling me to be there? Or would it be there? Or were you telling me to be there? Oh, where 808s? Where all the times? Where all the rim shots? Where MPCs? Hey, would it be there? Can you tell me would it be there? Gotta be, would it be there? Be there. Yeah, would it be there? Can you tell me would it be there? Gotta be, would it be there? Be there. See, if it is what it seems, then I know you on my team. Y'all on my team? Okay. See, I hear thumping in my dreams. Can you tell me what that means? Can you tell me what that means? You know you got me feeling strange, yeah. Oh, wanna be changed, yeah. You make me wanna rearrange, wanna be changed. Oh yeah, wanna be there. Oh, be there. Oh, tell me, yeah. Be there. One more time, would it be there? See, be there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I told you. Shout out Arturo.
Doing all right? Yeah, just picking up a little bit. It's called Say Yeah. You stay right there if you want to. Stay right there if you. I ain't gonna lie, I stand in line right here if I need to. Not trying to creep down, just wanna be around if you want me to. See, I understand the reservations, but I'm here to give you conversation. And if you want something more, guess what? I'm right here. Oh, hey, oh, I want you to see, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, want you to see, yeah, oh, yeah, just please, just see, yeah. You know how sometimes people say they want something, but they don't. Go ahead, leave my words at the door. I'm rich with love, them up the gospel. And hear you say you really want more, yet you keep on going to nothing. Go ahead, leave my words at the door. I'm rich with love, them up the gospel. Hear you say you really want more, yet you keep on going to nothing. Door, pour, more. Go into nothing. Go ahead, leave my words at the door. Rich will love them up the gospel. He can say you, and you keep on going. Hey. I want you to see, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just see, yeah. It's a little hot up here, you know? See, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, first of all, If you do not know my name, it's Corece, and it's spelled COR.ECE. And I know there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, but you're here with me, and we're gonna move. And no matter what happens to this world, at least we're gonna go out dancing. At least we're gonna do it feel good, like we know how. All right, you know. And the only thing I want you to do is just say yeah. See, I wanna know. I'm saying words that deep inside, but do I wanna know? I wanna know. I'm saying words that deep inside. Oh, hey, oh, no. Just see, yeah.
God damn!
Yeah, boy.
Yo. What? That was for us? Are you kidding me?
Where you from?
So I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's practice holding this.
You can find me in St. Louis.
Where the gunplay raised all day. Nah, some got jobs and some sell yay. Others just fucking smoke all day. I'm from the home of the red. That's the greatest.
We stood steady.
No, I know. Yo, I think we know the whole thing. I'm from the home of the Red Fox, Cedric the Entertainer. Listo? Yo, Corece, what the fuck? God damn. I only have that. Okay, yo, let's get quiet. We're back on. Let's get quiet on set. Thank you. Yo, what the fuck? That was
a full performance.
Okay, no, I mean, like, obviously.
Full. Like, I mean, look at the. It's
no,
here.
Yo, here's the thing, and I want to just like, I've said this to you in a text message, but we didn't know each other. We barely know each other now, but I just want to say, like, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Like, literally, yo, my whole show fell apart yesterday, and it's not a show that anyone gives a fuck about. So it's not like you'd be like, oh, it's the Jimmy Fallon show. We'll just get Questlove. And Arturo staying here on the couch, and he was like, papi, I'll solve it for you. I know such beautiful artists. You know what I'm saying? I was like, just give me. He was like, Dame bonito, Vagamundo Productions. And he was like, it's Corece, okay? It's right here. And I was like, whatever, bro. Like, anyone, I appreciate it. Will they actually do it? And he was like, I'm going to take a nap and I'll find out for you when I wake up. He sat there right there, woke up, and he was like, he'll do it, right? And then you came in just like, here's the thing. There's only one type of artist that I respect. And that's the artist that doesn't matter if it's Madison Square Garden or outside of Madison Square Garden. Totally. They do it one way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
full out.
You know, it's interesting you said that because I used to work in a totally different field. I used to work in film, and I had my own production company. I worked in development.
Oh, wow.
I made the choice because I grew up as a kid and as a teenager and then went to college, but I made music back then. I was in a band, and then I left music because I had an experience or had experiences that were traumatic, and I just ran away from this thing that I really loved. And when I made the choice to go back into music, I made a few agreements with myself, and one of those was that if I'm asked to sing, if I'm asked to share my gifts, then I don't say no. And so it was one of those moments where, especially with Arturo, if you call, I mean, he's just one of those people. He's in that category. Like, I'm going to respond. I'm going to show up. I didn't, you know, I'm
you don't know me from Adam, bro. We were meeting right here, dog. Like, in vivo.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with us. Like,
it is a gift.
That brought serious joy into
No, that
this
shit,
home.
yo.
Like, everybody was rocking with you.
And this is what I'm like, yo, like, and you, again, like, there's no vocal. You're only the second live performer on the show, right? So I'm sitting here going, oh shit, we should get a DI box. Oh shit, I'm like thinking about stuff, right? Because I've never had, and also the last people, it was a guitar and a bass player and a vocal. So I was like, oh, I never, other than the freestyle section, which I'm not worried about the quality of it in the same way. I was like, oh, I hope I don't like, and I'm mixing it. So I'm like, I just want to do right by everybody as a musician. You know what I mean? And so now, like, again, like you are to have a musician of your caliber as a second musical guest. No, I just have to I appreciate that.
Although it's been
I
a
really
long
appreciate
time
that, seriously.
since I've performed like this, I did.
It didn't look like it. Yeah, it didn't look like it.
Like without the the monitors with you know what I mean. Like all the time back in Brooklyn, I used to do a bunch of living room backyard shows. It's been a long time since I've done that, but it's still in me, and I still understand the importance of that. So
of course, I was reading your bio. You're a songwriter as well.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
Have you always been a songwriter? Do you lead with that? Can you tell us some of your projects?
Yeah, so I've always been a songwriter. I've always been a writer.
Okay.
And also a songwriter since I was a kid. I actually have a lot of poems and writing since elementary school that I still have. And I'm actually working on a project right now with a friend where we're using some of those things that I still have. And I moved around a lot as a kid. And I think I always knew that I was going to want or need or use those pieces of me. So something told me, even as a kid, to hold on to them and cover them. And I still have a lot of that stuff. I actually thought I lost this binder full of stuff.
Really?
Like literally up until maybe a few months ago, I thought I put it in a friend's basement in Brooklyn who I was renting from. And I came back. His basement used to be a mess. It was like stuff everywhere. So I was like, I'm just gonna pack this up. He'll never find it. He redid his basement, and everything
got his life together.
had down there was gone.
Oh wow!
And so I was like, okay, well I lost it, but somehow it was in my storage.
That's God.
Here in LA.
Let me know.
I don't know how.
I'm sorry, but that's not a coinkadoink.
Sorry,
but not a coinkadoink.
Yo, it's Puerto Rican just be making up words.
Making music for myself and writing has always been therapeutic in a way that I've been able to communicate and express myself. And I never thought that I would write for other people. You know,
give us the names. Who are you writing for?
Interest of mine. I mean, I write with. Currently, I just really like writing with my friend. I've written. I guess the biggest name that everybody wants me to just say is like
Beyonce. I love you,
that album.
Beyonce. Come on, can we get like reverb on this shit? Where is it? No.
You know, and it's like.
And that was part of a writing camp, right? It was a writing team, or
yeah, it was a writing team. So I make a lot of records with a producer and a DJ by the name of Honey Dijon.
Yes,
and a lot of people know Honey Dijon, who's really fantastic, and we've written lots of records together. And so during the lockdown part of the pandemic, it was one of the best times to be a musician because, if you know, privilege here, right? Like if you had a home,
right.
You know, were able to sort of do creative things, you know, in that home, and I was fortunate enough to do that, and so and all of the record execs and A&Rs, everybody was at home, and so people were responding to emails. And, you know, so
Lucy and Granger was like texting you back, you know?
Well, yeah, texting me back, and it's how I got sort of my first solo record deal from that moment.
Wow.
And so Honey had sent me a record, and I thought it was for me. I was like, this is really dope. T.S. Madison was already on there.
Wow.
But that was it. So I got it and wrote on it. I thought it was going to be for me.
Right.
And I kept asking for it, like, oh, what's up with this record? Like, you know, if you're not going to use it, you know, I'm getting mad. If you're not going to use it, I want my stuff back.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? And, Luke Solomon over who runs Classic Records under Defected, he was just like, chill, be patient. Long story short, it was you know, for Beyonce. So
that's really cool.
So myself and a number of other people worked on that record, and it's something.
How many people? I wanna get into this because a lot of people don't understand how songwriting works at that level.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to say it was out of. It's funny because out of all of the songs on that particular album, we might have had the one with the least amount of writers. I want to say somewhere around 11 or something.
Yeah, 11,
like
13, no?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And what is? I mean, does that? So people understand, like, is that like a cut that you like eat off still, or is it like the credit is more like, is the prestige more than the money, or is it somewhere equal?
So yes to all of it actually. The money still comes. I was able to, I think just because of that alone, I went on tour last year, right? Like tour.
Really?
Yeah, I went on tour with an artist by the name of Gavin Turk. We went traveling around Europe, and then we did some shows in the U.S. So I was in Europe all
So
summer
cool.
last summer. And but touring is expensive, and it's not like I have anybody paying for my stuff, and so I was able to get an advance off of my catalog through not my publisher, but through my professional rights organization, BMI, right? Which they're doing less and less of now.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that PR was advanced. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But we're just getting into that. We're not like we're new to that shit. So
Yeah. And so that allowed me to kind of tour without worrying about having to sort of pay for certain things, right? Because all of the money basically that I was getting on tour was going to DJs and managers, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Everything else other than myself. And so I would say that is an amazing gift, honestly, to have been on that project. And, to say that, I am a writer on a Grammy-winning album is something that's really fantastic. And it also has allowed me to have a relationship with the Recording Academy. And they surprisingly embraced me out of the gate.
That's really cool.
And, invited me to be on
it would be idiotic to not.
That's
It would be idiotic not to embrace you out of the gate.
I mean, I just something that I've always, looked up to, sort of saw me, and the people there were like, no, we want to bring you into the fold.
That's
right?
awesome.
Without me even having to ask to do that. I think it's pretty amazing. And so I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Gavin Turek, who's an amazing artist, she, it's funny because she hit me up, she DM'd me. She was like, hey, would you like to write with me? And I was already a fan of hers.
Oh, really?
I was listening to her in college. And and so when she asked me, I was like, this is really amazing. I mean, I think that she has become one of my really best friends.
Oh, that's cool.
We make some beautiful, fun music together.
That's cool.
There's an amazing singer by the name of MEC who we make some great music together. She was just recently on the Juicy J. Robert Glasper project. And 3-6 Mafia, and she kind of, her star is really ascending, and so I think I'm really more interested as opposed to because I think after the Beyonce and the Grammy situation, I could have gone into the hustle of I need to get in this room, I need to do that.
Right.
But I was never interested in that, and that's one of the reasons why I left Hollywood. It's because I didn't want to have to do that. I was tired of meetings and drinks and just being in rooms and having conversations with people I was not interested in, and so I've always wanted my artistry to be about what I wanted to do. To wake up in the morning and do what the fuck I want to do.
And you do it so well, and we're so grateful for it.
No, it really that's it's interesting because from when we're kind of newly in the music industry. We just started, kind of became a songwriting pair recently, right, with our friend Ebony Smith, who honestly you guys should
know
meet.
Each other.
Ebony. She engineered Cardi B's record and the Janelle Monáe record, the last one, and she was a senior producer at Atlantic Records for 15 years. But she we met through my mentor Dave Kutch, who was a mastering guy, and then literally she happened to be meeting with some Latin A&Rs, and Annalisa showed up hola, ¿cómo estás? And I was like, oh shit, we went to one session, and now we're now we became a songwriting team specifically. That's exactly that's the accent. I did it correctly. Yo, relax. But so and we're thinking about songwriting as a way of supplementing. Right?
Yes.
But it's also, for me, supplementing experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm oh, now Ebony will mix our records. We're not, because they're her pitches. It's her production. You know what I'm saying? So now we get, experience with.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
It's about those relationships. It's about somebody believing in you, and it's about somebody saying, okay, this is our thing. This is our sphere. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to try and do this with it. You know what I'm saying? I think with Honey and Luke Solomon, I'll always sort of mention them whenever I talk about my music career, because I was on stage singing in Brooklyn and New York City. Luke Solomon saw me and was like, hey, I'm going to bring you into the fold. Then I was in the record industry. I was a serious sort of, professional artist from that moment on. And of course I've done things beyond that and with other people, but it really just takes somebody to see
one person absolutely to invest. Can I ask you, is there a piece of advice that you would give other artists, if there was just one piece?
in the past, I would have some like stuff to say. I think this is such a tough time.
Yeah.
Right? Not just for being an artist, but I think sociopolitically, I think about all of the stuff that used to work don't necessarily work anymore.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a certain kind of financial space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in telling people to, like, I don't think that like being poor is romantic.
Yeah.
I don't.
1000%.
I've never been interested in being a starving artist. I think I know that you can still be an artist even if you are quote unquote poor, and I think that you will do it by any means necessary to express yourself, to get it out there. And I would encourage people to still do their art no matter what. I think a piece of advice I would give, broadly speaking, any artist right now is to really let go of expectations.
That's good.
And
that's good.
Because we need authenticity right now more than ever. And we need people to break the mold and come up with new ideas and new ways of doing things, right? Because the system is being blown up. I mean, we've always wanted to, been trying to blow it up in many ways, but it's really being blown up right now, and it's almost non-existent. You know, I think
Do you mean the major label system specifically, or do you mean like kind of the music industry writ large with streaming and like just moving past and, you know, the golden ages where people made a lot of money? Because those are the artists that we looked up to.
Let me put it like this: if I had done what I've already done thus far, and I were an artist in the 90s and the 2000s,
okay,
I would have a lot more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more that way for people, like farther and farther away from any actual financial gain.
Yes.
Because we know what greed looks like from all these streaming companies, from all these people who are hoarding the wealth within the labels and so on and so forth. And so and we have to be creative in ways in which we do, you know, get our money, unfortunately. But so I would say, like, recognize that and also be authentic and let go of expectations.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I feel like now, because, and look, I also didn't understand like intricacies of the music industry back when I was, you know, in the early 2000s, when I was admiring the people who made all their monies in the 90s, right? But it's like, I feel like that's why I brought up the songwriting thing, because you're like, oh, okay, like you might not make all your money from selling your personal records. You might make money by like being in the studio every day working on other people's records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I wonder if like people that we admired, you know, from that kind of golden age when like people were buying CDs, if those people had to work in the same way, or could they just like, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe we're not at the generation. How old are you?
I'm 37.
37. Okay. Yeah. Well, so at 34, like, I mean, like it's I wonder about that generation. I don't know enough, like I should know, but
I have friends from that generation. I mean, I think hard work is always important, right? Like I know people from that generation, like because it only takes one time to have that record, and that still can happen. Don't get me wrong, you know, because radio still pays. Like I get decent publishing, and a lot of that has to do with radio.
Yeah.
Still to this day. And so I'm grateful for the distribution that I've had with different labels. And most of my projects have come out with label and with decent distribution, which has allowed me to have some publishing money that comes in, you know, every quarter or whatever. And so I would say that when it comes to back then, I think I like, for example, one of my mentors and former vocal coach, Gordon Chambers, who has written songs like Brown Stone, If You Love Me. He's written with the late Angie Stone, Missing You from Set It Off movie with Brandy, Tamia, Gladys Knight.
God.
Yeah, he's a legend.
On and on and on. But I know that because he is a hard worker and he was writing all the time, right? And so I would say my best moments have been for me when I was like nonstop working and just coming up with the idea, trusting that creativity. And so I think that yes, it could just be, you know, these few songs that kind of give you your moment and kind of allow you to be comfortable,
Right.
but hard work still matters.
Wow.
And is there a distinction for you when you're writing a song to pitch, or you're writing a song for like a personal, like an individual artist project, or do you just approach it as like following the muse?
Following the muse, I don't, I personally don't really pitch anybody. I mean, my publisher might, or
Even after the Beyonce shit, you don't. No, I guess because I mean pitches like, because you guys we were in that team writing for her, so I just assumed that would have been like another.
Well, yeah, I see what you mean. In that case, yeah, like I do, you know, I have written some records specifically. Oh, I have this person in mind, and I might get pulled into sessions for that particular reason. But even then, that's not even me. That's me sort of following a brief. And sort of
Right.
I guess, sorry, to rephrase the question, when you're following a brief, right, do you approach the act of songwriting differently than if you would be working on your own album?
Yeah, I think so, because even with the Beyonce situation, had I known it was for her, I probably would have been like doing riffs and runs, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be like,
Yep.
that's what she might do.
Yeah.
And so I think. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just changes it, because even when I'm writing with like Gavin Turek, for example, I know her voice so well, and so I know exactly either like, okay, I would want her to do this because she sounds good, or I know she's capable of this, and so let me do this and push her to try this.
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. So in a way, it's like it's about the artist that you need a certain familiarity with the artist that you're writing for, right? Because you like, you know, obviously, you know, Beyonce's in a lot of the DNA of pop music, you know, but it's like if you're pitching for an artist specifically, or you're writing for an artist specifically that has like a different vocal range or a different tenor or a different approach than you, that's very sophisticated as a singer. I've never thought of it like that. And that's why I asked the question, because I feel like people would be very interested in knowing that.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to respect your time. It's 7:48 p.m. I would love to keep you on this couch for like a long more time, but I know you have a hard out. Do you want to? Can you keep hanging out for a second, or do you want to? Is there anything you want to say in the last 2 minutes here?
I do have to bounce, but you know, is there any any burning questions before I go? I can.
Annalisa, take the last one.
More?
No, I love your answer that you were giving other artists, and I'm grateful for it, and just grateful for your insight on all of it.
Yeah,
this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I am working on my next LP right now.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And I'm really excited about it because I'm really known for a lot of my dance and my house music, and that's always going to be there. You know, when I first signed my first record deal, I happened to get CeCe Peniston on the phone, and we talked for maybe like 2 hours.
That's
and she
cool.
gave me a lot of advice. And so one of the things that I took from that call was because I'm one of those people, like if I meet you and I
click.
Well, not even just click. Like if I'm like, yo, CeCe Peniston, can I get your number? Like I just want, you know what I mean. And so she's like, yeah, you know what I mean, boy, here's my number. And then we ended up like talking for like 2 hours that day. And one of the things I got was, don't abandon the base. And so I think I'll always make dance records no matter what. Because I love it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I know a lot of her career, she was really trying to show and flex the multi-talented woman that she is. And at that time, it was a lot harder to do that. And so it was almost like, okay, I want, because, she wrote Finally, it was a poem, and, it just sort of all happened to her, and it was amazing, but, there was more she wanted to do. And so I had a similar kind of fall into house. I've always loved house music. And, I was sneaking into gay bars when I was a kid, and that's how I kind of fell in love with it, but never knew that I would make it, because it was always this sort of like nebulous music from outer space that I didn't even.
That's why it's fly that you're making, because you're obsessed. You know what I'm saying? We should make the shit we're obsessed with, in my opinion. Yeah.
And so I'm working on my next LP, and just sort of taking my time in a way that I haven't in a long time.
And are the sounds similar? Like when you're talking about like now straying from the bass, like is it primarily a house record, your LP?
No, it's not primarily. I'm doing I've only done one other cover, and that was a very strange Down on My Luck cover of Vic Mensa. And
I was in that music video.
Really?
Yeah, as an extra. I got paid $100 a day to push him.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And I did that cover. It was like a acoustic version.
It's true.
What was your childhood?
That song. And so, but I'm definitely touching to my soul roots.
Hell yeah.
R&B.
Hell yeah.
I was classically trained vocally, and so
That's apparent.
And so so I want to kind of go more into that bag a lot of times.
Well, what's the record called?
We're here for it.
Do you have a name yet?
No name yet.
Well, Untitled. I mean, listen. Thank you so much for being here. And when can we see you live again? Are you going to be in LA, or like what's the next time that the people can come see you? Because that shit, I want to buy a ticket. Even if you spit in my dog food today and we're like, I don't fuck with this guy, I would still be buying the VIP trying to get you to sign my titties. You know what I mean? So like,
I appreciate
please.
That. cor.ece. Just follow me and keep up. I DJ a lot too, so that's
cool.
I'll be in
But we want to hear you
this
sing,
summer.
okay?
Oh, dude. Okay.
To our Croatian listeners, if you're out there,
Okay.
Yeah, so just keep in touch.
word up.
Okay.
Well, yo, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And again, shout out Arturo Soria, because we did not have a guest, and then Arturo brought us not just a guest, but like, I mean, this is crazy.
Blessed,
Thank you so much,
blessed.
and I hope you have your Zoom call. I hope it brings you money.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Oh my
so
God.
much.
Thank you. Oh, the thing in the air.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of fly.
All right. Okay. And so are we rolling? All right. Yo. Last skeptic with a K. Drop that shit real quick so we can just introduce people. Good evening. Good afternoon. This is episode 20 of the Chris Gabo Show. This is the most important segment of the show. This is the proving ground, right? Where we invite other rappers to come on and try to freestyle. And I'm like, yeah, are you really that nice? But actually, we have Sean. Where are you from?
I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas,
and where
man.
are you from, Dave Harris?
I'm from West Philly.
So these are some real rap cities, okay? There's no bullshit today, all right? Oh my God. Tell me where you're from.
I'm from South Florida.
That's right, Annalisa Lo Papi.
Come on, Florida.
So here's the thing. We got Last Skeptic, and just so you know, all these beats are for sale because he's only playing his own beats. He called me. He was like, Chris, I hate Shook Ones Part 2. I only want to play my own shit. And I was like, yo, you're British. That's
I love
fucked
these
up.
beats, bro.
All right.
It's crazy,
So,
bro.
yo. All right, bet it. Dave, you want to set us off?
I don't.
Okay, all right. All right.
I'm not a rapper. I'm a playwright.
Get the fuck off the mic. Yo, my name is Annalisa, and I like to eat pizza. I'm so sexy, so I keep it in the ether. Yeah, sitting on the couch. I'm really tired. Yo, I'm done, guys.
I thought you said you were gonna set it off. Listen, I really need to go and get my head cut off. From a guillotine, cause that's not nice. That's how I do it. Make all of the villagers scream like I papi chulo. That's how I do it. Make them all share the churro. Yes, getting back on the burro. No bullshit. That's just how I do it, ho. But I didn't mean to the woman. I meant to Dave Harris. I'm not a misogynist. I'm just eating carrots on my. Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Let me get it. So
Get it.
spin it for a minute, gotta get it. Back then I gotta flip it. Sean, y'all really been a menace. Back in the kitchen like I'm whipping. Throwing shit just like a frisbee. Yeah, I'm up in Disney, going to trips and I'm getting dizzy, sipping on that Henny gin. Best believe I get it in, weed and oxygen. Feeling like I'm big in Pac again. I'm a real gentleman, like a gingerbread man. Dark skin, like I got a spray tan. Shout out to my boy Chris Gabo, my right hand. I'm at least going ham. Davis is yes again. Corey on the beat, man, you really spazzing. Yeah, I'm on the track, rapping like I'm Manhattan, like Aladdin or something. I'm like up in Saturn or something. I'm sitting down, going in, feeling like a throne. Tell me where's my crown? I don't really play.
Yo, keep it real, no lies. Did you write that? Was it a freestyle? Did you write that? Keep it real, keep it facts. Did you write that? Cause I don't like it, I will clap back.
Hey, okay.
Yo, he said something about Aladdin. I'm trying to find my Jasmine. I ain't never lacking. But the heat, you know I'm packing. I be spitting when I'm rapping. You don't know about the toilet, cause the seat, I be crapping. What am I saying? I don't know though. Throw me in the ring like I am Frodo. I hunched your girl's back, Quasimodo. Damn, skating on the ice, Apollo. Oh no. fuck it, but fucking, I'm like Frozone. Man, where's my super soup? Man, your shit is shit like a pooper scoop. What am I saying? I don't know. Put the shell to your back like a Cooper troop. I'll be going crazy. I'll be going lazy. Smoke in the air, why the shit be looking hazy? I don't know, but all these niggas could not pay me, and you could not ever play me. I'm out here rapping like I'm Jay-Z, but maybe not, I don't know. More like Nas, more like Wayne. I be rapping with my pain. I be telling y'all the flames. I be going never tame. I be ghosting. I be flowing like a river, and I'm done.
So James, yo, what the fuck? I gotta tell you, I told James that he was gonna judge the winners, but now I don't want anyone to judge. I want it to be rigged. Annalisa, go do something scared.
It's a judgment free zone.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got the DJ on the ones and twos.
Hey.
I got the DJ. Yeah, well, how about you? Yeah, I write my written. Yeah, because you got me smitten. Yo, I'm in love. And he ain't like me.
You're fired. New beat, Corin. New beat.
Corey on the beat.
You can't talk shit during the freestyle is the one section that cannot be edited, Annalisa. Oh my God. What's she talking about? Look. Family Secrets going live, Jerry Springer. That's why I'm not supposed to be a rap singer. Documentary, that's how I do it elementary. Like the guy who be like, what's the clue? What's with you? Blues, that's the one. I sing it, but I fucked up the song on the one. Shoulda done something different, but I am spitting. Cause Annalisa thought the Sean shit was written, but it wasn't. He's from Arkansas. He be like, I need the applause, and I will saw you in half in the front of the class, and I don't need no assistant. Yes, I do it, and I had to eat the biscuit cause my man Corey, he be British, don't believe his accent. Maybe he's from Brooklyn accent. Okay, cool.
The accent.
Yeah.
The accent mark is the taxant. I wish I was the DJ because I'm a fuck, guys. Save me.
Keep going. Yeah.
What the fuck rhymes with accent, yo?
I don't know.
Accent. Yeah. We're going. Okay. You accent. So what's your accent, baby? Tell me what's your sign. Q saying that is my name. I'm trying to beat it from behind. I just like my chips, sorta like my pork rinds. Don't write my lines. I come from the mind. Beat down her spine. Beat down in line. Sean Watson, I'm going in, and yes, I attack in wrong time. I go up on the line, punch lines one time, like Lauryn Hill said, like one time. Wait, David on the beat, Corey on the beat. He going crazy every day. Chris Gabo, we on the feet with the couch going in. I'm up in your house like 106 in Park. Skin is hella dark, but I'm just trying to start, baby. Tell me where you going. Tell me like the Arkansas River, baby, we flowing. I'm just like that ocean, baby. I just like it slow. Tell me what you wanna get with. I be coming straight from down the dome. Hey, New Orleans dome. Like a lunatic, boy. I wanna go home one day, but I can't cause I'm all the way in LA. You know it's straight, baby. Tell me what's good.
Hey.
So we gonna rap about pussy. Okay.
Big comfy couch, niggas saying ouch. Kangaroo ass niggas ducking in the pouch. I don't know what that means, but I said it. I be on the internet, you niggas all on Reddit. If I said it once, I don't say it twice. American Idol nigga never been Bo Vice. More like Fantasia. Man, I'm out here playing with ya. What? That's his words. These are rhymes. I'm all about my action like a verb. It's my time. Gotta get it, and then I gotta spit it. If this was a track, I don't know, I would rip it. And I'm talking to your girl, and she's giving me the digits. Man, I'm getting numbers like Patrice Lumumba. What? That's a reference. Look at me with deference. I am your preference. I am just the emperor of the shit. Killing it. Destructo disc, krillin' it. That's Dragon Ball Z shit. You know, like Goku, Vegeta. I'm rapping like a cheetah in Adidas. Rolling on the track, I am a eater. Man, bring the kitten, I'm a eater. And then I'm flying like a bird feeder. What? I don't know, let me pass it off. Somebody go ahead and just take the ball.
Hey, these beats are nasty, bro. These beats are crazy, bro.
Passing off. Only use the Jergens when I'm at home jacking off. Looking at Yo, that's such dumb cypher shit. That's such dumb cypher. Yo, Corin, new beat. Yo. Play that Indian shit. The other one.
Damn.
What you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Annalisa.
Annalisa. Analízalo, papi. Yo, he says he likes at me. I take my clothes off, it's classy. Yeah, I like to whip him with the lingerie. I got long hair, so you know he like that way. Yeah, he hit it from the back. Oh, and you know I like that.
Yeah.
Doggy style is oh so nice. Yeah, and then he brings the ice. He puts it on my titty, and yeah, it's real light. Ooh. Bring the whipped cream.
Ice Cube on your titties, call it Spike Lee. That's why your girls don't ever wanna like me. But they be biting my neck like these rappers be biting my style. I said, yo, what's next? Look, I don't use protection, and I don't mean that in the sex, I mean in the section. When I'm talking to you, people need hand sanitize, yes, for all the fucking lies that your manager or agent said. I am not an Asian man, I am just Latino, that's why I am saying stand. But listen, there is the Pangea, so maybe we're all black and Asian. I would see ya in the X. Mix it like mestizo. That's how I do it. Eat the chicken with chorizo. Oh yes, you know that I got the stilo, and that's how I do it. Cause I don't have to be below any other MCs except for maybe you and maybe you and maybe you, and that they call me Baby Blue. Look, I do whatever the babies do, like crawl around looking for some baby food.
Chickadee check, what? Chickadee check, yeah, I'm stepping on their neck. Cute saying that's my name, run it up, I got some sweat. Singing on the track, sorta like I'm Chris Rock, no Chris Sweat. Yeah, I'm going in, man, shorty got some tit sweat. But she looking good, and I'm trying to eat that good. Yeah, bad chick, looking like Megan Good. Trying to take her to my hood, then I told her, girl, what's good? Tell me what it is, you can come straight to my hood. Trying to eat you up like some good food, baby, looking good to me. Tell me what it do, baby, you can beat my team. Be up on my team, maybe I don't beat my meat. No jerkins, best believe I'm lurking. Y'all going in, going crazy like the circus. Baby, I'll give you anything you want if you deserve it. Baby, give me that lip service. Yeah, I'm talking at top. Going in, yeah, I came straight from Little Rock. What's good?
Little rock.
Hey.
Let 'em rock.
Hey.
I got 3 inches, I'll give you what I got.
And 40 the circumference.
Sorry, I'll be more mature. Yeah. No, Philly, rap about real stuff. I was just gonna do penis talk.
We love
Penis talk.
These are important topics. We gotta blast off. Cause you came over here talking about how jacking off. And we gotta get it, cause niggas got the terms. It's important. Let's talk about Lubriderm, or maybe Jergens, or maybe Nivea. I'm out here flying up to the sea. Damn, sometimes you lonely, you gotta need it. And Michael Jackson, you know what you gotta do? Beat it.
Okay. Look, fuck Jack and all, let's get serious this segment. Male loneliness is a real epidemic. I do not want to pretend.
No, loneliness is tough. It's tough, guys. It's real deal. It's real.
Look, I don't mean to cry. I don't mean to sob. But young Chris Gabo, I can't really find a job. Dave, he'd be like, I be making money from the plays. I be like, I be getting money from pretending to be gay on OnlyFans. I'm just bisexual. I'm not both of them, but I got intellectual. That's how I do all the things I have to do. Look, and I will use the toilet after you without making you pull the seat up, because that's why I do not read a book like Lolita. That's some pedophile shit. I don't like that wild shit. Motherfuckers from Europe, they be on this. Well, why? Well, I guess the age of consent was different. That's why your kings sound like they sniffed a thing and their faces all red from Rochea. Dave Harris, save me. What do you got to say, huh?
Well, you uncomfortable with masturbation. It's okay, but you gotta go with masturbation. Cause, man, we out here in bitter. When I found your girl, I said, come hither. You know the motion. We swimming in the ocean. Then we gotta go and get it with the lotion. We're back to where we began. I'm sorry, but you know who runs the house? I'm Hugh Laurie. Damn, that shit was crazy off the dome. I'll be flying to Paris and off to Rome. Then I'm out here penning books. I'm penning tomes. Then I gotta go and get it. I hit your home visit, so digit, so limit, no limit. I flow with it.
Rubbing la perla. I gotta teach you some stuff, cause y'all be hell nah. This is how you touch a woman's pussy. Nice and slow, in a round circle. Don't you know? When was the last time you were in the pussy? You talk about it, cause yeah, you miss it.
Girl, please, you a big hand. Girl, please, you a big fan. You don't want to know what I could do with these big hands.
Big hands.
They be slapping like the beat. Will Smith, I be slapping. I'm in the heat. Damn.
He does have
Trick
big
or
hands.
treat, want the candy. And I'm out here, I give you more like Mandy.
Trick or treat, who the yo, trick or treat, who the fuck are you supposed to be? I'm Chris Gabo, man. I do it like a G, like the first letter in my name in the Honda Accord. So absurd how I hit him with the word stomping to the curb like in the movie, but I don't want to say it because I really think it's groovy when I be listening to Quincy Jones in the bathtub. That's where I get my back rubbed. That's not a thug. I am from the suburbs, not the hood, but I know that I know how to do the things good, better, and worse. Somewhere in the middle, that's where I figure it out. And Mr. Pickles was what Ludacris said on that guest verse. That's how I do it, and goddamn my head hurts. But Arturo said that migraines aren't the same thing. Yes, my wife got like 5 rings. All of them I gave them to her because I had to lock it down because her hair is curly and her skin is brown.
Skin is brown, skin is brown. She look like me, so we going downtown. She hop on the train and we gotta go round.
Hey.
Really? We brown. Right.
Yeah.
BIPOC. Oh yeah, motherfuckers better buy stock.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I still like an IHOP. People they took me out.
I never want to share a mic with you again. This is the Chris Gabo Show.
Chris Gabo Show
Another episode.
We keep going. What time is it?
Corey.
10:15. All right, one more beat.
Corey is nasty with that shit.
Yo, me and you will share a mic because
All right, come on,
wants to quit. I keep grabbing it.
No, that ass. Motherfuckers talk about shit.
Yeah. Okay. Who's gonna take it?
I like this funky beat, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I jump on seat, yeah, I like it. Hey yo, DJ, can you hear me? Hey yo, DJ, can you see me?
Hey, I said, DJ, can you hear me? Yeah, I hope you hear me clearly. I'm just trying to see you sit near me. I'm like, damn, baby, yeah, put me on your CD or something. I don't really want to make assumptions, but baby, I ain't with the fucking bluffing. I'm just with the touching, maybe with the cuffing. Maybe go back to the make loving. Go back to the room, take you perfume. Yeah, you smelling too good, baby, yes, I do assume. Yeah, I'm not that kind of guy, I don't come soon. I'm sort of like that moon, baby, like a monsoon. I'm just trying to eat you up like a lunchroom. Hey. Tell me, baby, dude, what that punch do? What that taste do? What that mouth do? Tell me what about you. I just want to know, baby, drink you like a fountain or something. I'm like,
shoot your motherfucking
James, you're going to have to choose between, it was obviously not me or Annalisa who won, so you're going to have to choose between Philly and Arkansas. All right, one more beat. Let's do it. Okay, you got this.
Hey,
I see it.
I'm not a rapper, I'm a playwright. But when it comes to this rapping, I don't play right. I don't play nice. If I say it once, I never say it twice. Then I gotta go put the chrome to the back of your head like of mice and men. I gotta rap like I'm on a 10. Damn, and I'm rapping like Lupin the Third. You know the fucking anime like Lupin the Gird. What? I don't know, but I'm making up words. You know, something like a nerd. You know, like something like you heard, you know, we're rapping in a herd like a pack of animals. We be rapping like it's animal, Hannibal. I be eating it like Hannibal. Come on,
I'm scared. Okay, look. Dave Harris make rappers scared like a campfire. That's how I do it, and I download it on LimeWire. .cunt.xe. What the fuck? Do not drink some Pepsi around me, cause I be like, that's where they found me. Oh yes, I tried to say something profound, B, but I was talking about jerking off the opposite. That's how I do it. Oh, rap name anonymous. That name was never gonna be famous, so Chris Gabo, man, you know I had to change it. Look, I do not try to delay it, but I will just say it, cause I cannot open the box like the Lay's, pop it like a Pringle. Can't do it once, twice, get the single. Dave Harris raps better than people with singles out. Yes, that's what the shit about. Put the shit in your real small mouth. I'm not gonna do that again, okay?
Okay, no, truly, this is the Chris Gabo Show.
Let someone say something. No, relax. You don't know what episode it is. Corin, do we have to go?
Or limited engagement.
Yeah, all right. One more. Yo, I want you to hear his accent. Say one for the one more.
Be careful.
Hey, yo, we're gonna do one more up in here.
The man them are rioting, bro. He won't do his British accent.
I got a special request by the DJ. That first beat that you played, what was that shit? That shit was crazy. Like, I don't know what it was.
Ooh, this is a little dance beat. Yeah. It's a dance beat.
Okay.
Jamming in my panties.
It's like a West Coast kind of. I mean, this is cool too, though. I mean, we can fuck around.
Jamming with my panties.
Yeah.
Make requests, Arkansas. Make requests, Sean Watson. If you rap like that in my house, you can make requests. You can put your feelings on the table. Okay, for everybody. Yeah, this one, right?
Okay. Maybe it was the one. It's like a West Coast kind of like West Coasty.
Nah, but I want this.
Like if you went. All right, go.
No. Look.
Ramadan is over. Sorry.
No, good. Please go.
Ramadan is over. Iftar in this bitch.
Yeah.
I go to Sana'a, get my coffee lit.
Yeah.
I like my Habibis, call me Habibti. Yeah, I'm so nice, call me a BD. You don't need no strip clubs when you're with me, cause I'ma bring you that. Roll with me. That's all I got, guys.
All right. Yo. Young Chris Gabo, baby, I got us this far. My man gave me the beat with the sitar, and I said, where is the Cheshire Cat with hookahs? Cause I'm trying to go, not use up the grouper. Grouper is what Dave Harris cooks on the daily. He said, yo, come meet me. I said, it's too early to eat sea urchins off of the boat. I said, my name is Chris Gabo, and I never fucking choke. I might rap whack, I might rap mid, but I never go pull the top of my lid like this and say that I'm scared of other MCs because they always try to tempt me, and I am not a lover like gently. I just do it so I bend it over in the Bentley, but really it's a Honda. No, they call me Rhonda. That was your mom's name, Gerard for the Fonda. James Fonda. How I stretch it out? Yes, not your mom. That's my friend. I get ready when I try to sing along. I'm just look, motherfucker, I am canceled. That's how I do it. Get your face strangled like a shout out to Sean Randall. That's how we do it, and this rhymes off the handle. No, you can't handle me. Too hot for TV. Only on YouTube. That's where you can see me. Puerto Rican children trying not to be me, cause I got some writing and I put it on the TV. You see me. You do not believe me. I'm deceiving everyone when I am saying I do not believe in myself, but that's only cause I do not believe in you. You MCs are doo-doo, but not the present crew included. I mean other guys. That's how I do it from my other life. Look, and I'm so precise, I'm out of breath, but really I just try to use my spidey sense. I'm finding this, that I cannot find the precise way to get out of the outro, get out of my household. That's what my mom said to me on the couch, bro. That shit's fucked up. I don't even rap, bro. Well, yes, I do. That's just obvious. So now I get the politics in my man. Hisham said this is not the radio, so he said politics shit, you gotta let it go. I need you to work in this town next week. Turn the frown upside down. This is not for the weak, proving ground.
This is the Chris Gabo Show.
Oh, shit. Episode 18.
Again, I'm not coming back.
Dave and Sean won. I just had to end something with pride. God damn. James.
Make sure you come back.
Next time we're gonna have you rap too, okay? But we know you can be like, you'd be like, yeah, lost my hand in the Congo. Bang it on the.
Anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends.
Go to the Patreon. I don't have any new shit on Patreon, but I need to be able to pay Josh. So just give me money if you believe in it.
Jesus Christ. And we are looking for investors. So yeah, if you would like to email us, please do so. Thank you again. Make sure you come back.
Shout out Corey, the last skeptic, the man them in the
Oh, that was fun.
Y'all are welcome you can do this every week. I want to tell you this to real MCs. You don't have to watch the whole show. You can knock on my door at like 7:30. No, I mean it.